Guys. So in previous video we touched base on the theory of uh, router on stick, how the router is on a stick work. So now we are going to do the lab of router on stick. So for that lab we need a switch, right? An L2 switch and PC. So we are taking three PCs and we'll put these three PCs in three different VLANs. The so need to connect these three PCs um, with a straight cable. So let's connect these PCs to the straight using the straight cable to the switch. Okay. So now we are going to configure this switch for three different VLANs. So config T VLAN, let's say 10, okay, VLAN 20 and VLAN 30, okay, and we can check in switch database, VLAN database if those VLANs are configured now. So you can see VLAN 10, 20 and 30 are configured. Okay. Now we are going to put the interfaces which are going to PC1 PCs in these different VLANs. Um, so uh, so let me do it. Okay. So config T interface fast Ethernet 0/2, right? So we connected this PC to fast Ethernet 2 interface. So we'll do switch port mode access VLAN 10, and it is already up. The port is already up, so we can check the status. So interface FA 0/2. So it is up and connected, right? And if we can check the configuration of the port, show run interface FA 0 slash. Okay, if I do show run interface FA 0/, interface fast Ethernet show run, let's say show run. So this port is under VLAN 10. Okay, similarly we need to put port 3 and 4 in VLAN 20 and 30. Okay, so let me do just one thing. So interface brief, so interface status, right? So 2 3 4. Okay, so we need to put port number 3 under VLAN 20 and port number 4 under VLAN 30. Okay, so let's do that. So interface fast Ethernet 0/3, right? Switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 20. Okay, similarly for fast Ethernet 4, we will put it under VLAN 30. So switch port mode switch port access VLAN 30, right? So these three PCs are in three different VLANs. Okay. Now we can configure three different IPs, okay, on these PCs. So config desktop config, okay, and interface FA08, and let me do put like 10 dot um 10.20, 10.10.10. Let's say 10, right? And 255.255.255.0. Okay. And gateway subnet mask, right? And this is desktop config physical. Okay. Then and default gateway will be let's say this default gateway will be used when we configure the gateway on the router. So 10.10.10.1 we are using as this as default gateway. Okay, so okay, so IP is 10.10.10.10 and the gateway is 10.10.10.1. Okay, so we can also verify this if it is configured. Okay, so if I do command prompt and we do IP config, right? So IP is configured here, right? Now let's close this and configure the other one. So we'll go to config and default gateway, let's say um 10.20.20.1. Okay, and fast Ethernet uh, on this interface we are configured 10.20.20.20, right? And mask will be 255.255.255.0. Okay, so this is configured. Now we'll see here at command prompt config, right? So IP is configured and gateway is also configured. Okay, now on the third PC we'll put it configure the IP here. So let's say gateway will be like 10 or this is VLAN 30, so we are using 10.30.30.1, and here on fast Ethernet, that Ethernet interface we are using 10.30.30.30, and the subnet was mask will be 255.255.255.0. Okay, so this PC, because they are in different VLANs, so they cannot talk to each other. Okay, so if I try to ping 10.20.20.20 from 10.10.10.10, I cannot ping, right? So, and our switch is L2 as well, right? So we cannot configure, any L3 interface on the switch and make it as a gateway, okay? Or SBI on the switch for VLAN 10, 20, 30 and make them as gateway. So that way the PCs can talk to each other using the gateway on the switch. So we cannot do that because it is an L2 switch. So to achieve that, we can um, we can uh, deploy one router, right? And let's connect this router with the straight through cable, the switch. So I left the first port empty and routed this port I am using to connect to the switch. So what we'll do doing is we'll trunking all these three VLAN 10, 20 and 30 on this interconnect between router and switch, and on the router we'll be configuring the the sub interfaces for VLAN 10, 20 and 30, and gateway IP for those VLANs will be configured on those sub interfaces. Okay, so let's uh, um, let's configure this router. Okay, so router is up. No. Okay, Okay, so now on this router, what is the interface? Interface status, interface brief, show IP interface brief, show IP interface brief. So on this port, it is our switch is connected. So let me uh, unshut this port 0/0 and do no shut. Okay. So this done protocol is coming up. Now we'll do like interface gig 0/0 dot, let's say 10. Okay, so this number doesn't matter. It is not limit. I mean, it is not limited to the VLAN. Okay, so we can do like 100 as well. Dot 100 for VLAN 10. So they are not related. Okay, VLAN number and this switch interface sub interface number, they are not related. We can use any number here. Okay. So if I do like interface gig 0/0, so just to make the topology look better, I'm using dot 10 as sub interface for VLAN 10. Okay, so then we do encapsulation dot 1q, right? 10. Okay, and hit enter. And we configure the IP address over here, IP address 10 dot. So we need to configure the gateway over here, right? So 255.255.255.0. Similarly, we'll do the same configuration for the other sub interfaces. Okay, copy and paste dot 20. Okay, and then the same command encapsulation dot 1q 20. Okay, then the same we configure the third interface for VLAN 30. Okay, and oh, we did not configure the gateway for VLAN 20. So let me go back to the interface IP address 10.20.20.1 255.255.255.0 and hit enter, exit, and then go to the sub interface 30 and encapsulation dot 1q30, right? And configure the IP address 10.30.30.1 255.255.255.0, right? And then let's see if interface are up. Yes, we have three sub interface configured, and the interfaces are up. Okay, now we need to configure this switch interface FA 0/1, okay, as the trunk interface. So we'll do interface FA 0/1 switch port mode trunk. Okay, switch port trunk allowed VLAN. Let's say do 10, 20, 30, right? Now, if we, let's say from, so let the port come up. It is amber right now. In the meantime, let's open the command prompt. Yes, port is up now. Now, if we ping 10.20.20.20 again, it should ping. Yes, it is pinging. Yeah. Okay. Now let me ping 10.30.30.30. Okay. It should ping. Yeah, it is pinging. Let's ping vice versa. Desktop, command prompt, ping 10.10.10.10. Yes, it is pinging 10.20.20.20. Yes, it is pinging, right? So you can see what is happening is this PC where in VLAN 10 when it talk wants to talk to the VLAN PC and VLAN 20, the traf the traffic is going to the switch, and on the switch uh, then it is going to the router. On the router, it has the routing table for all the subnets, right? So if I do show IP routes, okay, so these routes are there, they are directly connected, right? So this route, this route, and this route for VLAN 10 and 20, VLAN 10, 20, and 30, right? They are there. So the traffic comes to this gateway when this PC try to ping any of these two VLANs IP, right? This gateway. Then from this on this routing lookup happens for VLAN 20 and 30 subnet. Then it goes to the switch, and from switch then it goes to the required destination. So this is how the router on stick work. Use case for this, because nowadays, all the switches, I mean, most of the switches in the data center, like core switches, they are L3 switches. So generally, it is not needed like this in production, but how this is using in production, like let's say in place of this router, if we have a firewall, okay, and we need to make all the VLANs in the data center on a remote site uh, gateway. We need to make the gateway firewall as the gateway. Okay, so that way we trunk all the VLANs and we make the firewall as the gateway. On the firewall we create, I mean the firewall we create the sub interface or the SVI. So all the VLAN traffic will go to the firewall, and we can apply the policy on the firewall if for the particular traffic. That way, we can achieve some kind of like um, control over the east to west traffic, or north to south traffic, or south to north traffic in the data center or the remote sites. So I think this has been informative for you, and I like to thank you for viewing. If you have any query, please mention in the comment section. I will take those queries in the next video. Thank you guys. Have a good day.